For decades, Jeffrey Epstein's case has raised questions about power, money, corruption, and who gets protected. At the center of it all, the FBI, a convicted sex offender, and a White House scrambling to keep up. Spanning decades and some of the most influential figures in America, this is the story of the Trump administration and the Epstein files. These are the facts. Before his presidency, Donald Trump moved in the same social circles as disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. In the 1990s, the two were seen together at events long before Trump entered politics. It is said the two had a falling out in the early 2000s before Epstein's first conviction. Trump aides have said the rift stemmed from concerns about Epstein's conduct, while others attribute it to business and real estate issues.
He took people, and because he took people, I said, don't do it anymore. They work for me. And once he did that, that was the end of him.
During his 2024 campaign, Donald Trump repeatedly stated that if re-elected, he would release more files related to Jeffrey Epstein, including a possible client list.
That list also includes at least 19 other individuals, one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, one royal prince, one high-profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, at least 6 billionaires, including a billionaire from Canada. We know these people exist in the FBI files, the files that you control.
In September 2024, Trump denied visiting Epstein's island and said he'd have no problem declassifying relevant records.
Moment where you had some hesitation about Epstein, releasing some of the documents on Epstein. Why the hesitation?
I don't think I'm not involved. I never went to his island. But yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Court documents unsealed in January 2024 named several public figures, including Trump, but did not allege wrongdoing or include a definitive client list. In February 2025, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced what she called Phase 1 of the Trump administration's declassified Epstein files. The release included flight logs, Epstein's black book, and an evidence list, but offered little new information. The release sparked backlash, with many of the documents already public.
There is something that is rotten in Washington. Less than 1% of these files have been released.
Bondi blamed the FBI's New York office for withholding thousands of pages and ordered their release. FBI Director Kash Patel pledged a full review with no redactions to shield misconduct. By late May, the Department of Justice and FBI concluded that Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide and found no evidence of a client list or blackmail scheme involving powerful figures. A summary memo stated no charges would be brought against uncharged third parties. Internal rifts followed, with reports of FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino threatening resignation over Bondi's handling. Director Kash Patel later denied the rumors, which he called conspiracy theories. Weeks later, the DOJ moved to unseal grand jury records, citing public interest, but reaffirmed it would withhold sensitive victim-related material. By mid-July, backlash over the Epstein files was coming from both sides of the political spectrum. As the DOJ insisted there was no secret client list, pressure grew on Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client list, our July 6th memo.
Democrats demanded full transparency and seized on the GOP division, but were also criticized for failing to act when they controlled the White House. Republicans warned of broken promises and urged Trump to release all related materials, saying the controversy had all but paralyzed Congress.
Capitol Hill, they're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. From what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given, but it's really a Democrat hoax.
Trump has called GOP members demanding transparency weaklings. As the pressure mounted and frustration grew, Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna introduced a House amendment to force a full file release. House Speaker Mike Johnson went on to propose a non-binding resolution supporting selective transparency then recessed the House. Meanwhile, Trump stood by Attorney General Pam Bondi, downplayed the scandal, and directed her to unseal the grand jury testimony tied to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. In late July, Deputy AG Todd Blanche held over 9 hours of meetings with Maxwell, where she denied any knowledge of a client list or blackmail scheme. Soon after, she was transferred to a minimum security prison in Texas, a move some reports linked to her cooperation. Trump has gone on to say he hasn't ruled out a pardon for Maxwell.
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it.
Then in September, the House Oversight Committee published Epstein's 2003 birthday book, a 238-page album compiled by Maxwell. The book included personal notes allegedly from Alan Dershowitz, Bill Clinton, Trump, and others, reigniting headlines across Washington. By mid-October, all sitting House Democrats and 4 Republicans were prepared to vote for the document release, leaving them one short. That missing vote belonged to Democrat Adelita Grijalva, who couldn't be sworn in during the government shutdown after Speaker Mike Johnson delayed her oath of office. In the weeks that followed, both parties released thousands of related documents, some linking figures on both sides to Epstein, while Trump and Johnson continued resisting a complete disclosure. Then, on November 19th, with the government reopened and a near-unanimous vote in both chambers, Trump reversed course and signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act. It gave the Justice Department 30 days to release all Epstein materials except those involving victims or ongoing investigations, provided the redactions were narrowly tailored and temporary. After further requests from the Justice Department, 3 separate federal courts ordered the release of grand jury records from Epstein's earlier investigations, along with records related to Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein's 2019 case. All 3 judges cited the recently enacted Epstein Files Transparency Act in their reasoning for releasing the records. As headlines spread, the reactions split sharply along political lines, as well as the narratives that followed. The Republican narrative states that MAGA conspiracies over Epstein have distracted from Trump's agenda and set expectations that were never realistic. There's likely nothing explosive in the files, but to end the saga and restore focus, Trump should release everything legally permissible. After hyping this conspiracy theory for so long, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongio had nothing to show for it once in office, only deepening mistrust and fueling chaos. The Democratic narrative states that Trump created this mess by promising transparency and appointing loyalists who fueled conspiracy theories. Now facing public distrust, even among Republicans, he's hiding behind secrecy. If he has nothing to hide, he should prove it. Americans overwhelmingly demand the truth, and this long cover-up is doing more damage than disclosure likely ever would. The establishment critical narrative states that for decades, presidents of both parties, as well as billionaire elites and their media allies, have helped bury Epstein's secrets. Now they point fingers while guarding the same files. From Donald Trump to Bill Clinton, they've all maintained secrecy despite public outcries. As questions grow around Epstein, it's becoming clear. This isn't left versus right, but the powerful protecting themselves.